Okay, go. Good morning, evening, and welcome to episode 148 of Down to Dunk. You can find us on The Athletic and anywhere else you subscribe to your podcast. Go to theathletic.com/down to dunk. Give the Athletic for $1 I am Luke. Joined this evening by Andrew.
Slam through.
Taylor.
Hey, what's going to be the topic of discussion today, boys? Topic of discussion today, boys. I was trying to go topic.
We got it.
Yep,
Right.
good one.
And Jay.
It's Jay.
And Alex.
Hey.
We're coming to you live from the good people at the Jones Assembly.
We're at the Jones Assembly. If you're watching live on YouTube, we are sitting in a booth on the second story of the Jones Assembly. Thanks to everybody that came to the party.
Yeah.
It was very, very fun. We appreciate all the dunkers that made it out. The Thunder. This was such. Everybody said it was going to be a weird draft. No one really knew what was going to happen, and that's exactly how it went. Like no one had any clue where this was going, and Topic is somebody that fell to the Thunder because of injury, and I can see the vision. He's very thundery. He can really pass. He's very skilled. He thinks the game at a high level.
Really young.
He's really young.
European.
He is. He's from Pokuville. Apparently,
He's from the same place as Poku.
I know.
That's amazing.
I know.
Is it like, I mean, would you all know, is it like they are from Piedmont, Oklahoma together? Or is that like, hey, they're from a giant city? Like
It's a great question.
millions
We'll
of
look
other
it up.
people are. Yeah. Sorry, Taylor, while you're on your phone.
Poku didn't make the list of notable Serbian draft picks.
No, he did not.
Oh, he
So no one knows who we're talking about anymore.
Yeah,
Poku's over.
he did not.
How about Ron Holland to the Pistons?
That was very
Shocker.
very wild, very Pistonsy. Topic measured at 6'6", 200 pounds.
With shoes or without shoes?
I think without shoes, 6'6".
Whoa.
So he's
God.
he's
Like
tall,
7 foot with shoes.
and he's gonna. The Thunder have done this before. Like he's gonna redshirt his rookie year, and he's gonna come in and play his second year. So the Thunder obviously have done this before. He checks a lot of Thunder boxes. Size for position check. He's a point guard. He's 6'7". He's very skilled, good passer on movement. And the thing that's different from him, a lot of people are going to make the Giddey comparison, and some of that is apt and some of it isn't. But he shot it well at this age from the free throw line and shot 68% at the rim when he played for Mega, which is really good.
Yeah, I think y'all talked about it today on the – what day is today?
Wednesday.
We talked about it this morning. Is that Topo Chico itch. So did you say he shot 89% from the free throw line?
Yeah, I think it was actually like 87%.
Which is normally like
84%.
you made the leap,
84%.
which is not an abnormal leap to take, where guys that are consistently that from the free throw line are normally going to translate into pretty effective 3-point shooters.
Yeah, that and the touch around the rim.
Yeah.
So I'm just not that worried about it. Like, I don't think you can lump him in with another guy like Ron Holland.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think saying both of those guys are bad shooters means the same thing.
Yeah. Or Buzelis, for that matter.
Or Buzelis, yeah. So and now he's going to get a year off. And by the way, when we go into the 2025 draft, he'll still be one of the younger players in that draft.
Yeah.
Like, he is 18 right now.
Yeah.
He's one of the youngest players in this draft.
Deepest voice in the NBA, though.
That's true.
A cry for help, deep voice.
Do you remember Gerald Wallace's voice?
It sounded like a didgeridoo.
Yeah.
We'll
never forget.
We'll have to get some of his quotes as drops.
I'm gonna have
because he does have a distinct voice.
I'm gonna have him do the entire Down to Dunk intro by himself.
That would be great.
Okay.
No, I just love this pick so much because, unlike a lot of folks, I just looked at this draft and didn't see anyone other than maybe Devin Carter before they made the Caruso trade.
Yeah.
Where I was like, I could actually see them playing minutes for this team in the playoffs next year.
Yeah.
I just didn't see it.
So why not take a flyer?
So why not take a flyer on a guy who, if he had not torn his ACL, would have gone significantly higher in this draft?
Yeah, probably would have gone to the Spurs possibly or to Washington. Yeah. I mean, there were people that have him number 1.
Yeah,
on their draft boards. So
me,
mostly it's
on my personal draft board.
So looking at some of his percentages, this past season he was 87.8% from the free throw line, 30% from 3. But in the previous year, he was 85% from the line. He shot 36.9% from 3 that year. So he's not like some guy that's never shot the ball or some hopeless shooter. Like the biggest thing with him is the injury coming back from towards ACL, which is not obviously not what it used to be. I think he's going to be fine.
Yeah, and it says it was a partial tear.
It's a partial tear. My guess, and I don't have info on this yet, is that they'll sit him out the whole season, make sure that he's healthy.
Even with the full ACL tear, you could technically be back probably by January or so.
You could get back
what's
sooner.
The point? Like, he's not coming back to contribute. Like, oh, let's get Topic ready for the playoff run. It's like, no, it would just be come back and get in the G League.
They're trying to do back-to-back.
Yeah, back-to-back G League champions.
G League championships.
Him and Oos out there giving it their best.
The thing that I like about Topic the most is that he's going to have actual versatility because he is big. Like he can play on the wing. It's kind of funny because they just traded a guy who's not he's not that dissimilar from Gideon in a lot of ways, and that he's a big point guard that can really pass the basketball. And it's an interesting chance to put him in the role that they wanted to put Gideon, and then like that's his starting point.
It's verbatim, I think, what y'all said this morning talking about Topic. Isn't that right? Didn't you say? Am I losing my mind? I thought this morning in your podcast you were like, you could put Sherman. Stop yelling.
Sure,
whatever you want.
I remember that.
No, but y'all were talking about the fact that like you can put him in that reserve position, and unlike Giddy, where it's you making the transition from a starting role to a bench role is far different than saying, hey, from the beginning, we brought you in to be a reserve point guard, to run the offense whenever. But we're 3 years away from Topic being something that you would expect contributions from?
It's going to be pretty low expectations, I think, coming in next year because they're going to have a whole year to further develop this current rotation. I mean, we're going to have a different starting lineup than we did last year. That starting lineup is going to probably play a lot because that's what they like to do. And so he's going to come in not with an expectation of like, oh, this guy has to be our starting point guard. You know, he has to immediately fill that Giddy slot.
Yeah.
He can come in and be a scorer off the bench. And the thing I really like about him is you look at the playoffs, and one of the things we talked about was how when guys would get it on the perimeter, how many guys on this team was the other team really afraid of when it came to their drives?
Yeah.
I do think he is a player who could develop into the sort of guy who you are afraid of him when he is driving because he is such a good finisher around the rim. He's going to have to get stronger, obviously. Like his first 13 games in Mega, there was a drop-off when he went up to wherever he was next.
He went and played for Red Star.
Yeah, when he went to play for Red Star, there were bigger bodies. Like the physicality was greater.
Yeah.
So, but he's 18. Like he's going to develop that, and to have that sort of touch around the rim at 18 in a pro league, I think that's the part that's really exciting because they need more guys like that. And so, someone who can handle it, and I just believe in the shooting because of all of those touch indicators. That I'm not really that worried about it.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of love the pick.
Yeah.
Why don't you marry it?
I might, Luke.
Wow.
I inevitably was going to be underwhelmed with. It's a good reason for you to subscribe on YouTube. I knew I was going to inevitably be underwhelmed by a draft pick just because there was. I think in my mind, at least, as you start convincing yourself, like maybe there's somebody available that could be part of what could really complete this roster. But once you get to 12, and I don't even think anybody drafted before him would be somebody to be like, oh, that's the guy that really contributes immediately. So for me, it was hard to be like, I don't honestly care about the draft in years like now where it's like, awesome, cool. Don't have any expectations from Topic for a while. So it makes it to where it's not quite as enjoyable because I'm like, what I wanted to see tonight was like, all right, so Thunder trade 12 plus 3 future firsts
Right. Yeah.
for Anthony Davis, or whatever it is. And knowing that that's not, I mean, rarely if ever happens, it just is one of those things where you're like, yeah, take a swing on who you think maybe has the best potential. This is it's a high reward, low risk pick. Like, who cares? If it turns out, awesome. If it doesn't, fine.
And that's what I do like about it, is
dozens.
that it has that upside that I just don't think some of these other picks in this range really had.
No, you kind of knew who you were going to get. And I don't think the Thunder were going to take Connect or who went 13.
That's Devin Carter. Devin Carter did.
Yeah.
Who I would have been excited to get because I like
and
Devin Carter.
Bub was still there.
Bub was still there.
There were some of those guys, but
Tristan Da Silva went a few picks later. Jared McCain went a few picks later.
yeah.
We're talking about if they wanted a ball handler off the bench, which they legitimately wanted Giddey to do that. And he didn't want to do it. And also you have to pay Giddey. There's a lot of complicating factors that led to Giddey being traded. But like, this is a legit chance to have that bigger guy come off the bench and be your backup point guard and also be a little bit more versatile than that because he is 6'7". Now he's not quick and he's not the best defender. There's a lot of things that he's going to have to work on.
He's got nothing but time
at the NBA level, but this also just kind of tells you too, like where the Thunder still believe that they're at. Like they still feel like they can develop players. They still feel like they're at a place where they can bring a guy like Topic in, and he can become something down the line. Like he's not going to be. I mean, who knows if he can be a contributor from day one when he's healthy? We don't know, but he's probably the highest upside swing at that pick at this point.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Who is the Thunder's most successful person that they've done that with?
What?
Like drafted and
Chet
developed.
Holmgren.
No, drafted and developed. Like not playing right away, but like developed. Not Chet, but I'm talking about like player like
Lou
this.
Dort.
I don't think so. I don't
He
think
kind of
Well,
played for
I mean,
the jump.
Yeah, he played from the. I mean, we don't know if he is going to play from the jump. That's the thing. It's like we don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know what that looks like. There could be an open lane for a guard to come in next year to handle the ball. That could still be the case. We just don't know. So the good thing though is that like he does have a year, and the Thunder have a year to kind of figure some stuff out with him. And so, who knows what that looks like? He did say that he hadn't met with anybody. He didn't work out for the Thunder. Obviously, he's not working out for anybody because he's hurt. But like he didn't meet with anybody in person with the Thunder, and so I think there might have even been some surprise on his part.
Yeah, and it just goes back to the fact that like Sam historically has just been really connected in
Bakome
Europe.
Dadier
And
went to the Knicks.
He knew,
He's a draft and stash.
and he knows like these, like he's been watching probably Topic play.
Yeah.
Probably for many years.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
to
definitely.
be aware of what his potential could be. And here's the other, not saying this could happen, but being such a young draft pick, he may still like physically, there's so much space for him to get stronger, to maybe even get, taller, faster. Like all of those physical developments could be part of that too. I think kind of the word I've been using was indifferent, just because it's inconsequential, I think, to the overall next 2 years of the Thunder, which I feel like the potential for the rumors we're hearing and some of the potential changes in this roster. And I think that adding Caruso really just elevates that expectation for me, at least, for what this team could be.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's hard for me to even really ultimately care about the 12th pick in this year's draft. So maybe in 3 years, I'll be like, man, I'm so dumb for not being higher on Topic, but it's whatever.
Think about next summer, how they're going to get more draft picks and Topic is coming in.
Don't they have like 5 picks in
And
2025?
We're going to be hyping it up going into next season.
Summer League will be fun next year when Topic is out there running it.
Yeah.
And Oos is playing his 4th year in it.
Stop.
You mentioned his athleticism, which you'll read that a lot in the scouting report. So he's not like an uber athletic guy.
Yeah.
I don't think he had any dunks this season as an example of that.
Yeah.
But there was a really good article on Swish Theory about him.
Yeah.
And specifically talking about his shin angle, which that's the kind of angle of your shin on drives in relation to the court. And like the best players like Kyrie or Shea can get their shin angle such that it's like almost parallel to the court. Like they get their legs so low to the ground and they were using it as a comparison for Topic, saying that yes, he's not going to like jump out of the gym, but he has this like crafty athleticism in the same way that Shea does, where his drives to the rim are kind of like the same kind of like snaking, like going up and under, and all that kind of stuff, which I do think that fits into kind of the overall athletic profile that we've seen for a lot of Thunder players.
You know what really helps with their shenangle? Is a squatty potty. It'll put you in the position to do it right.
That's a great point.
Great point. All right, so that brings me to I'm on the Bleacher Report, and they have pro comparisons being Goran Dragic and Shea Gilgeous-Alexander.
Yeah, it must be the
from what you guys have, I think it's the shin angles.
God, Dragic is actually a pretty good comp for him, and that would be unbelievable if you got a player that's that good. Because like Dragic wasn't some like crazy athlete, but he was crafty. He was a good passer. He can get to the hoop. That's the kind of player that Topic is,
and also could play off ball.
Yeah,
which Topic, like when he was at Mega for those 13 games this year, he was like the main guy, primary distributor, all that. When he went to Red Star, he played a lot more off ball.
Yeah,
and he wasn't as good as he was at Mega, but I do think it showed that like this is going to be a guy who's already got some off ball experience, and it's not going to be someone who comes in and you feel like you like have to give him the ball.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll be a little bit more used to that role than someone like Josh Giddey, who had to like completely change the way he had played basketball in order to try to fit into that very specific role this season.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think it was a very, very interesting. Oh, the Knicks are trading the pick 26 to the Thunder.
Oh, we're getting Ptolemy?
Hold on.
Daddy A?
Oh my God.
Oh,
is this
boy.
live?
Live on the pod?
Yeah, this is live.
Oh, yes. Finally breaking news on the pod.
Oh, my gosh. The Thunder are selecting Dylan Jones.
Oh. Is that a guy from Texas?
Let me pull up his profile real quick.
Oh, my God. Luke, what do you think?
Breaking news.
Oh, I heard he was here. Now, Dylan Jones is such an interesting player. He played at Weber State. I heard that he was at Cheevers with Nick Collison just a few nights ago. So,
hey, Sunrise Christian, isn't that where Buzelis went?
I believe that's correct.
Different.
He is a thick daddy, number one.
Yeah,
6'5", 237.
Tell me the wingspan though. Look at that.
He's got a 6'11" wingspan.
Wow.
He can. This is going to be a guy to show up for summer league. He can handle the basketball. He can get his own bucket.
What's his number one stat strength?
He can pass. He's a defensive rebounder. He's like a small forward. He kind of did everything for Weber State. I am so excited that they drafted
Now,
Dylan
also,
Jones.
are you more excited about this than Topic?
Well,
also,
he is like just
it seems like it.
Listen, he is really, really fun. He's also a guy that was mocked in like the 40s by some people. So a lot of people are going to see this as like a huge reach.
KOC has him 67th on his big
That's what I'm saying. But the
he
dude,
has bully ball point guard
I was
with
thinking
an
mocked in the 40s. I was like, how old is this guy?
yeah,
unorthodox style of play given his size, shades of Grant Williams crossed with Julius Randle.
he's got the weirdest game. He is so much fun though.
Andrew's leaving.
Do you have to go?
Oh, bye,
Oh,
Andrew.
he's got to take a very important call.
All right, what do you want to talk about?
Important call.
Somebody get his microphone.
What do you guys
All right.
want to talk about?
Well, let me give you some stats about Dylan Jones, who I'll be honest with you, I'm just learning about. Played in the Big Sky, played at Weber State all 4 seasons. He is, Andrew said 6'6", 235. This year for Weber State, averaged 21 points per game, almost 10 rebounds per game, 5 assists, 2 steals. Not exactly a shooter. Shot 32% on 3.5 attempts per game. 32% career shooter from 3 on not a lot of attempts. I'll be honest, I can't immediately tell you why they would move into the first round for Dylan Jones.
How old is he?
Well,
Well,
unless they really thought Minnesota
he's a
at
senior.
27
I
was
think
gonna
he's
take him.
22 years old.
They're showing highlights right now at the Jones Assembly of Dylan Jones.
Yeah, he's going to be 23 basically at the start of next season.
The Dylan Jones assembly. Oh, the Dylan Jones assembly. Wow.
Dylan Jones assembly. That's very good.
Oh man, he had a 2.82 shuttle run.
Man, it's crazy that he's able to do all this with the chandelier in the way.
Oh man.
This is weird.
Yeah, I don't know how to feel about this one.
I'm once again don't really care ultimately about what they get, but the trade to 26 for a guy that you probably could have got
I know that's the part
as
I'm
an undrafted
confused by.
free agent, unless you thought Minnesota was going to jump up and get him.
Well, remember, I mean, they've obviously done this before. They've taken guys in the first round.
Yeah, they
that
don't
surprised
care.
everyone. Josh Eustace being the obvious example. We also know that they've tried to trade up for guys who were projected to be in the second round, and then they didn't get them. Santi Aldama is the one there with Memphis, like moving up to steal him from OKC. I would love to know though who they thought was taking him, and maybe they see some benefit in giving him a first round contract as opposed to being on a second round contract. That one's kind of shocking.
What they trade? Do we know what they traded?
We don't
for?
know what they traded yet.
And we have so many assets. Like we were saying, they have 5 next year. Why not trade? If you have
Oklahoma
them, trade
City
them.
is sending 5
Is that really what it is?
5 second round picks to the Knicks for Dylan Jones at number 26.
Wow. Okay. Ben Pfeiffer is super excited, so that actually makes me feel a little bit better. 5 seconds. Wow. That's actually a pretty good deal then. I was really worried that they were giving up like one of their bad future firsts, but they actually don't have any bad future firsts. So this makes more sense to me. And for the Knicks, they obviously just made a trade where they gave away a ton of picks. So they're recouping some pick value, even though they're not first round
5
picks.
seconds is an absurd amount of seconds to me. 5 seconds. Guess what you have? 5 second round draft picks. What if you did it all in one draft?
I mean, they had to use them for something.
You have 5 seconds in the 2025 draft.
So now we know that what you can get with 5 seconds is either Jay Crowder, or you can get a first round pick in the draft.
That actually puts it in pretty good perspective. I know you're kind of joking, but that does help me understand. So thank you.
You got it.
I'm not sure if it's like a normal first round pick or it's just like just Sam just being Sam.
Well,
I don't
Just
know.
deciding
Hey,
that
guys,
he's going to get
I
a
have a
guy
question.
that
What if Phoenix really wants him? Dylan Jones.
There you go.
they asked for it.
Hey, what's your guys' favorite thing you had to eat at the Jones?
Mm,
Mine was the dips and bread thing.
the cookies.
okay, so
like
going
that.
back to the start of the draft, nothing surprising until 5,
Yeah.
which, as you mentioned, the Pistons took Ron Holland, someone who I would have liked to see fall. It turns out his teammate, Mattis Buzelis, was the one who fell. Everything after that just started to be a shocker. Like, first you have the Hornets taking Salon at 6, after there were rumors that the Grizzlies were trying to trade up for Klingon. Because they can't get a deal done, now Klingon falls to the Blazers, which the Blazers had a really interesting night. We should probably mention Denny Avdia, who has been a Thunder fan favorite for a while now. They end up trading Malcolm Brogdon, 2 firsts, and 2 seconds for Denny Avdia.
Man, that's a lot. That's a heavy load.
It's a lot. The Thunder absolutely could have matched it. I do think you have to treat Malcolm Brogdon as a first because I do think Washington's going to be able to flip him. So that was essentially like 3 firsts. Maybe they're not great first, and 2 seconds for Denny Avdia. That's a little rich. I would have been excited if OKC had been on the other end of that deal, but I also do think that's pretty rich for Avdia. And looking at the Blazers now, the overall lack of shooting that they have going forward, because Denny on OKC, he's not some like elite shooter, he's not some high volume shooter.
Yeah.
But because he's surrounded by other shooters, you feel kind of good about it.
Hey,
Now it's like him and Shaden Sharp
Yeah.
are shooting for them.
you think
Jeremy
there's any
Grant-
chance they put a lineup out there with DeAndre Ayton, Donovan Klingon, and Rob Williams at the same time?
They might. No one's tried it.
Just zag when everybody else is
Yeah.
going 5 out. We're going to go 5 in.
No one's done 3 towers, but they could.
I don't get whatever, man. Portland's got a. They probably took best player available on their board.
They probably did. And listen, he does not space the floor for them at all, but he is a really good screen setter, and that's going to help Scoot so much next year because
The Ayton one is the one where I'm like, golly, just Can you just wave and stretch him?
No, I mean they could maybe get value for him.
5 seconds.
I mean, he did have a good end of the season, but yeah,
After he
I'm
got
a
out of
little
his driveway.
I'm a little confused by their draft. And then you had that huge trade at 8 with the Timberwolves trading a future unprotected first, a top 1 protected swap to move all the way to 8 for Rob Dillingham. And I'm just thinking about it from a Spurs fan point of view. Can you imagine seeing what Wemby did the second half of the year, knowing that you have these 2 draft picks, these lottery picks coming, and then you essentially punt one for picks roughly 7 years from now? Like I saw Spurs fans on Twitter today that were getting on to the Spurs media members because they were kind of parroting the company line of like, there's not going to be any big trades. Like, this is even the opposite of a big trade. This isn't even like taking a guy at 8. They're like trading away that pick for picks 7 years out when you have Wemby. I think that's super interesting. I don't know what they're going to do the rest of the season, but
Do you think there's
or
part
the
of
rest
it?
of off season, but
If I was a Spurs fan, I know I would be frustrated by this because Wemby is already to the point where you're like, you've got your guy, start building. But if you just wait and have one more year where you're mediocre, even though they'll be a little bit better, like throw your hat in the ring to try to get a top 5 pick in a draft next year that has the likelihood of being far more, I don't know, far better.
yeah,
Like why not just give it one more shot? Which apparently kind of feels like, at least based on this draft, what they're trying to do.
I guess I just still liked so many guys at 8. And for them to trade out of that, but
Especially, I would have tried to find a point guard, like just somebody who can
well, they
like
drafted
Nikola
Castle,
Jokic.
who believes he's a point guard.
Yeah,
can't shoot.
He can't shoot, and neither can Sohan.
yeah, that's a problem.
Should have taken Giddey.
Should just take. Yep.
Yeah.
Did you guys talk about the 5 second-round picks for the 26th pick?
Yeah,
Yeah,
did.
we just heard that.
Yeah.
That's a lot of picks.
It's fascinating.
I'm still a little perplexed. Could you tell us any more about Dylan Jones? Like in my head,
I mean, he's a forward with guard skills.
this sounds like Deontay Burton.
He's really strong. It's like
It does sound like Deontay Ward.
he's a little Deontay Burton-y.
Good.
He's,
Good.
I'm excited about. He's a really fun player. Like, go watch him for 5 minutes on YouTube, and you'll be all in.
So why was he mocked like late in the second?
He's a little older.
Yeah, he's going to be 23 at the start of next season.
Yeah, I mean, he played at Weber State as well. The
Isn't that where,
competition.
campaign played.
No, it's where Damian Lillard played in Utah. It's in Utah.
Where did campaign play?
Campaign was at. He played the same place that Ja played.
What about CJ McCollum?
Murray
Morehead
State?
Murray State. Yeah,
Murray.
that's right. We have a few super chats. Aaron Sarkissan says, grab a couple cold ones. Also, I'm not excited. Cheer me up. Okay, we're trying to do that. Dylan Jones, the next thick daddy of the Thunder. Daniel Sinney says, realistically, the 12th pick shouldn't play on this team. Like the pick, I think he has a chance to redo Giddey with a new idea of the team. I don't disagree with that. And then Michael Clampett is trying to alert us that pick 26 from the Knicks, which.
So do you think is Dylan Jones? It says he's 235, which
Yeah.
Jay Will's listed at 240.
Yeah.
So he is very close. He's very possible by the time we get to training camp, he is like the biggest dude on the team.
Yeah,
Even though he is 6'6".
yeah, great rebounder. He had a 24 rebound game.
Wow.
So
Oh.
like he's an interesting player. I think that obviously he has like a Thunder skill set.
Would
like,
you say he's
shoot, pass,
electric?
dribble? I don't know if he's electric, but
Would you say he's electrifying?
I don't know if he's electrifying, but he is a thick daddy that can handle the ball
I
and that
love
can get
that.
to the lane, and he's tough. There's a lot to like about Dylan Jones. And
We did mention that he's not much of a shooter as of right now. Shot 32%.
32% from three, but he had the ball all the time, and he was like the guy for Weber State. Shot 80. He's another. He's similar to Topich. Shot 85% from the free throw line.
Okay.
Wow.
So he's not. It's not like he's not a shooter
No
at all.
touch.
But he averaged 20, basically 20, 10, and 5
Yeah.
for Weber State. I mean, just one of the more productive college basketball players last season. Period.
And Weber State only averaged 40 points per game. So that's a big deal.
Wow.
Yeah, I am like shocked. I thought, I mean, who knows what was he going to be available? I mean, he was mocked in the 50s with some people, in the 40s, and the 60s. I don't know. I mean, it is certainly a Presti's making a bet on on what he thinks about.
Well, we've talked about
players,
this before.
you know?
I mean, the Thunder find their guys and they do whatever. It doesn't really matter what's expected. They just go get that guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that even gives me confidence in this pick.
Yeah.
Okay, he was mocked 40, 50, 60, whatever.
Yeah.
The Thunder really like him, and they do whatever it takes to get him.
Yeah.
And they have a bunch of picks, so why not do it? They have confidence in that guy.
You pay 5 second rounders. You have to have some kind of info that he's going to go.
That makes me think
somewhere.
he can actually shoot from three, actually. It's like, well, really, he's going to be a 40% shooter in the NBA.
I mean, it would have to be one of these last 4 teams had to have wanted him. You had to have had something that said that they were going to take him.
I was mentioning Santi Aldama.
Yeah.
As a guy who was like mocked in the second, but then gets taken at the end of the first.
Yeah.
Okay, so big picture, we now know that they drafted someone at 12 who's not going to be playing this season.
Yep.
Most likely.
Yep.
They drafted Dylan Jones, who
Yep.
maybe he plays this season, maybe doesn't. But I don't have high expectations
Yeah.
for him playing.
There's
big
a
minutes.
lane for a bigger forward to play, but there's a chance that he's with the G.
So
all
do you
season.
think now, looking ahead to the offseason, how confident are you that they're going to use some of their cap space to get a meaningful upgrade? Meaning like a legitimate rotation piece.
Yeah.
Someone who's gonna come in.
question.
I think they'll add another legitimate rotation piece.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think they will. I don't know who that is. I think
We didn't mention the OG deal, which did get signed today.
Yeah.
$42.5 million per year,
Yep.
which I still haven't heard like a definitive they can't bring Hartenstein back. But
Yeah, there's some people there. Yeah, there's not a definitive in anything on that, but he's still on the table. We got a lot of time to talk about it. Listen, I've got to go.
Okay.
Thank you guys
Gotta go
for being here.
to the bathroom.
Got to get off the podcast. We're gonna stop the pod. Thanks so much.
Someone
for listening.
important call it. What's happening?
We can
You
talk.
gotta go.
Yeah,
Thanks.
we gotta
Thanks,
go.
guys.
Thanks so
Bye.
much. Thanks to the Jones Assembly.
Yeah, it was great. Thanks for everyone who came.
Thanks to Nick from Lively Beer Works for helping set all of this up. Very much appreciate that. Appreciate everybody at the Jones Assembly. Appreciate all the Dunkers for being here. It was
Dunkers.
so much fun. We'll have another podcast on Friday where we're going to break this down a little bit more. Maybe we'll learn a little bit more.
I'm going to have a lot on Topich on Friday.
Okay.
30
wait.
minutes.
I'm going to try to get a bunch of like Topich drops ready.
Okay.
For Friday. It's going to be very fun.
I've been spending so much time trying to find fun
I'll spend
facts,
the
funny
next.
facts
I'll spend the
about
next
Topich.
48 hours just studying Dylan Jones.
There you go.
Okay.
There
That's
we go.
our assignment.
Assignments. Okay. Second round's tomorrow.
this is
We'll
kind of. Can I
see-
just tell you one
See
interesting
if
thing?
anything happens. Yeah.
So Dylan Jones.
No, thank you for listening.
This is from Corey Talaba from the those guys. No ceilings. He had to play on the Portland Generals at the Nike Hoop Summit to get in front of NBA GMs. So like Nike Hoop Summit, you have like all the guys who are going to be in next year's draft come, and they have to play against someone.
Yeah.
He was on the team that they played against just to get in front of like NBA GMs.
Yeah.
And he ends up being a first-round pick. Pretty wild. Barely got invited to the G League Elite Camp last year before balling out and earning himself an invite to the 2023 Draft Combine. Bet on himself, balled out, and now he's a first-round pick.
I love it so
Balled
much.
out. I love when guys ball out.
I love it so much. All right. We will talk to you guys again on Friday.